welcome everyone to Pilates Flow. We'll get going in about a minute. Waiting until 9 o'clock. It'll be a 40-minute session. Those of you that are watching, I'll invite you to find a cross-legged sit. Grounded down through two sits bones as we bring our hands onto our knees, pulling back with our hands as we settle our shoulders. Long through all sides of the neck with a slight tuck of the chin. Pilates, much like yoga, is a mind-body practice. So we're starting to take our attention inward, focusing on what we need right here, right now. So let's work with two breaths here, a relaxation breath and an engagement breath. Finding our relaxation breath first as you bring one hand on the belly, the other hand on top. And just breathing into your belly, letting your hands rise and fall as you breathe. Keeping the belly soft. So in Pilates, we learn how to engage our core. And the other half of that equation is learning how to relax our core. As we hold this belly breath, letting the warmth of your hands warm up your belly, letting the warmth of your belly warm up your hands. Now let's work with the engagement breath, the Pilates breath, sometimes called side body breath. Let's bring our hands onto our ribs, and let's work with the inhale first. So on the inhale, breathing into our ribs. And on the exhale, letting it come out either through the nose or through the mouth. As you breathe into those ribs, letting the hands rise and fall as you breathe. Working with the Pilates exhalation, let's bring our fingers just below the belly button. And as we exhale, we're going to draw that place in and up, almost like a J stroke. So we want to breathe into our ribs on the inhalation. And on the exhalation, we draw that low belly in and up. So it's a very active breath. And this very active breath is going to help support our body as we strengthen our core. In and of itself, it's a core exercise, this abdominal engagement on the exhalation and this conscious breathing into the ribs on the inhalation. You might imagine an upside down triangle. So the exhalation is based on the apex of that upside down triangle. And the inhalation is in the sides of the triangle, the two, not the base, but the two legs. From here, let's come onto our backs. And I've got some toys to play with. You have the toys, great. If no big deal. I've got a Pilates ring. I've got a softball to support the back of the head. That's probably the most important toy. If you don't have a softball, you can always grab a pillow. Another couple of toys here are a pair of weighted balls. You could also use soup cans, so you don't have to use the weights at all. And the third toy I have, many people might not have this one, is a Pilates or cylinder. We probably won't use that too much. So let's come onto our backs. I'm going to go this way so you can see my pelvis. And I'm going to support the back of my head with that soft ball. Again, you could always use a pillow. Let's find our neutral pelvis. So right now as I lay on the floor, I'm feeling heavy in my tailbone. There's a sense of lift in the low back. Let's play with that a little bit here. As we bring our fingers under our hip points, and we can tilt the pelvis to face as we lift up that tailbone. And then grounding down through the tailbone, we're going to tilt the pelvis to face away from the face as I lift up the low back. We're going to do this a few times, just big, obvious motion, nice and slow, just warming up our low backs. And then letting that motion get faster and smaller, like a ball rolling to the bottom of a bowl. And then coming back towards stillness, heavy in the tailbone, with a sense of lift in the low back. And this is your neutral pelvis. And we all have different shaped hips, we have different shaped low backs, but you do want to feel that lumbar curve, that low back curve. We want to try to keep that in most of the Pilates exercises. The other way we work the back in Pilates, when we need a little bit more abdominal engagement to help support our bodies, is the imprint, in which we consciously lose that space in the low back as we press the back into the mat. And just notice when you do that, when we press the back down, we start to recruit other muscles of our core. So generally we want to work the neutral pelvis to give ourselves the opportunity to strengthen some of the less obvious muscles of our center. When we do need that extra engagement, we imprint, and that's going to help keep our bodies safe. So keeping neutral pelvis, let's work the traditional Pilates warm-up exercise, and let's do 2 sets. So I'm going to find my tabletop legs, perpendicular thighs, parallel shins. I'm going to keep the pillow behind the back of my head just to give my neck a little bit of a break here. I've got neutral pelvis. I'm going to push down 5 times. I'm going to push up 5 times. I'm going to work the exhale as I push down, the inhale as I push up. And we'll do 100 times here. As we push down 5 times, and push up. We got 10 more to go. And then ground it down through the hands, letting the feet come to the floor. Let's find conscious rest position. As I widen the feet, I'll let the knees knock in, palm on the belly, palm on top, letting my hip flexors relax as I work a belly breath here. Long, smooth breaths in through the nose. Letting that breath spill out either through the nose or out through the mouth, keeping the belly soft. A couple more like that. Breathing in through the nose. And letting the breath spill out. Breath in through the nose. Hello, Tazzy. Out through the mouth. So let's work a second set of the hundreds. So I'm going to move back just a little bit here. And Tazzy, I need you to go elsewhere, although you're super cute. So I'm going to start tabletop legs. From this place, legs high to the sky. Let's draw the thighs in towards the face. Notice when the thighs come in, we start to imprint the low back. We work the thighs far enough away to keep that sense of space in the lumbar spine. We'll work Pilates foot position. Let me show you here. Heels connect, the toes are a little bit apart. Feel free to keep a slight bend in the knees or not. Keeping neutral pelvis, the lowest you might want to go. It's probably about 45 degrees here. If that's too much, you always come back up, but not losing neutral pelvis. So finding a place to work for you, we'll push down 5 times. We'll push up 5 times with the breath. So we exhale as we push down, smooth, smooth exhale. And push up, smooth inhale. Halfway done. Last 10. And then I'm going to ground down through the hands, finding my tabletop legs, and then grounding down through the feet, coming back to conscious rest position as I widen the feet, letting the knees knock in, palm on the belly, palm on top, and letting the belly be soft as I breathe in through the nose, and let it whoosh out through the mouth. Breath in through the nose. letting it whoosh out through the mouth. Breath in through the nose. Letting it whoosh out through the mouth. So let's do one more set of the hundreds. And this time let's find the classic head position. So I'm going to lose that ball or that pillow behind my head. Lifting the chin, lifting the head to tuck the chin. I want to find the tips of the shoulders maybe just a little bit higher. Finding my tabletop legs. Maybe lengthening legs to the sky. Maybe moving towards 45 degrees. And we'll push down 5 times. And up. We're halfway done. Last 10. And then landing the hands, tabletop feet, landing the feet, laying the head down with a sense of length in the neck. And again, coming back to constructive rest as I go wide with the feet. Let the knees knock in, palm on the belly, palm on top. Big belly breath in through the nose. Let it whoosh out through the mouth. Breath in through the nose. Let it whoosh out through the mouth. Breath in through the nose. Let it whoosh out through the mouth. From here, let's hug our knees in. We're going to imprint here as we press the low back down. And then moving between anterior tilt, pelvis faces the face, posterior tilt as we find that lift in the low back. So we did this way back when, this time. Rather than having hands on hip points, we have our hands on our knees as we just massage our low back, moving between neutral pelvis and an imprint. Imprinting the spine, knees draw in close, keeping the knees close in. We'll stretch long through an arm and roll onto a side, letting that arm serve as a cushion for the head as we share a long, slow breath here on the floor, letting it whoosh out through the mouth. And then pushing into our hands as we come on up. So let's work roll downs and roll ups. We'll do half roll downs, half roll ups, and then we'll put it all together. If you have a ball or a pillow, you might hold it between the hands. Another option is to use a Pilates ring. And you can make a ring out of lots of things. I'll let you get creative with that. So we can work straight legs, grounding down through the heels. We can also work a slight bend to the knees. We're going to move between what we call in Pilates tall spine, back of the head, is in line with the sacrum, and C-spine, we tuck tail and chin. And we'll do that a few times. So let me go diagonal here so you can see my back a little bit. I'll come to this side of the frame. So either working straight legs or a slight bend in the knees. We find our tall spine inhaling. On the exhale, we tuck tail and chin as we roll back to the sacrum, maybe a little bit lower, exhaling. On the inhale, rising on up, we're going to establish tall spine. On the exhale, we're going to come back to C-spine as we reach for the feet. Now your shoulders want to draw away from the ears, ribs want to draw away from the feet. Inhale, tall spine. Exhale, C-spine as we roll it halfway down. Inhale, tall spine. Exhale, C-spine as we reach. Inhale, tall spine. Exhale, C-spine as we come halfway down, maybe a little bit more. Inhale, tall spine. Exhale, C-spine. 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 We're halfway done. Breathing in, sitting tall. Exhaling, reaching. Inhaling tall. Exhaling down. Inhale, tall spine. Exhale, C-spine. 2 more to go. Breathing in, tall spine. Exhale, C-spine. Inhale, tall spine. Exhale, C-spine. Last one here. We'll hold. Breathing in, tall spine. Exhale, C-spine. Inhale and hold. Exhale and hold. Inhale and hold. Exhale and hold. 1 more half breath. Breath in. Breath out. Inhale, tall spine. Exhale, C-spine. Inhale, tall spine. And then on the exhale, just finding a loose forward fold as we relax the shoulders, relax neck, breathing into our belly, letting it spill out through the mouth. Breathing in through our nose, letting it spill out through the mouth. Breathing in through the nose, letting it spill out through the mouth. So let's work a full roll down here. So my legs are mostly out of the scene here. So either working straight legs or that slight bend in the knees. Another option, you could always lose the ring and you could catch the back of the thighs, and that can work on the way down, also on the way up. And another option is you might let gravity help you on the way down, and on the way up, we're not really the way up quite yet, but you might rock it a little bit. So using your body weight to help assist your core here. So if you have the ring in front of the heart, inhale, tall spine, exhale, C-spine. I'm going to roll it all the way down here. Slow, slow, slow. When I get to the ground, arms by the ears, but not too low. I'm going to keep the ribs from poking out. So I'm going to keep the ribs soft and drawing in. Back of the head is on the floor as I breathe in. Breathing out, we're going to work some half roll-ups here. And I want to keep neutral pelvis for the half roll-up. So there's a bit of space in the low back. I lift the head to tuck the chin. I exhale up to the tips of the shoulders. Not too high. I don't want to lose neutral pelvis. And then I'm going to inhale it back down, arms by the ears. And the low back's going to probably lift up just a little bit more here. But we don't want to lose that sense of space at any point. So I exhale up, tips of the shoulders maybe a little higher. And then back down. Exhale it up. And then back down. Exhale it up. And then back down. We're halfway done. Exhale it up. And then back down. Exhale it up. And then back down. We'll do one more and hold. Exhale it up. Inhale and hold. Exhale and hold. Inhale and hold. Exhale and hold. One more half breath. Breath in. And then breath out. Arms by the ears. Inhaling, full body stretch. And then bringing the ring, if you chose to use the ring, off to the side. Hand on the belly, hand on top. Let the feet relax as we take a big belly breath into those hands. Big belly breath out. Belly breath in. And belly breath out. So let's stretch long through an arm. Let's work the feet in. Let's roll onto our side. Hanging out there for a breath. Big breath in. Big breath out. And soft tuck of the chin as we push on up. So let's work a full roll down, and then we'll match it with a full roll up. And I'll talk you through it. So we always start from the top. Gravity's our friend here. So grabbing the ring if you choose. Tall spine inhaling. Exhaling C-spine as we roll ourselves down. Inhale, full body stretch, low back lifts. On the exhale, flexing the feet, ring over heart. We're going to imprint as we press the back into the mat. We lift the head to tuck the chin as we come on up. Inhale, tall spine. Exhale, C-spine. Inhale, tall spine. Exhaling as we roll ourselves down. Inhale, low back lifts. Exhaling, lifting the head to tuck the chin, imprinting, ring over heart as we come on up. Inhale, tall spine. Exhale, C-spine. Inhale, tall spine. Exhaling, rolling ourselves down. Inhale, low back lifts, full body stretch. Exhaling, imprinting as we roll ourselves up. Inhale, tall spine. Exhale, C-spine. Inhale, tall spine. Exhaling as we roll ourselves down. Inhale, low back lifts, full body stretch. We're halfway done. Exhaling, rolling ourselves up. Inhale, tall spine. Exhale, C-spine. Inhale, tall spine. Exhaling, rolling ourselves down. Inhale, low back lifts. We've got 2 more to go. Exhaling, rolling ourselves up. Inhale, tall spine. Exhale, C-spine. Inhale, tall spine. Exhaling, rolling ourselves down. We got 1 more to go here. Breathing in, full body stretch. Exhaling, rolling it up. Inhale, tall spine. Exhale, C-spine. Inhale, tall spine. And then exhaling, just letting yourself drape over those legs. Relax shoulders, relax neck. Big belly breath in through the nose. Let it spill out through the mouth. Breath in through the nose. Let it spill out through the mouth. Breath in through the nose. Let it spill out through the mouth. So let's add some side to side, just for fun. I love the roll downs and roll ups, so why not spend a bunch of time? This is what people come to Pilates for generally, is that slim and trim waistline, and this will certainly help you achieve that. Not that that is any better than a non-slim and a non-trim waistline, but you do want to have that core strength, whether it's covered or not. And we'll just stop right there. So anyway, we've got tall spine. Exhale, C-spine as we come halfway down. We'll take the ring one way. We'll take it the other. Back to center. Inhale, tall spine. Exhale, C-spine. Inhale, tall spine. Exhaling down. Now we'll go to that second side first. First side second. Back to center. Inhale, tall spine. Exhale, C-spine. Inhale, tall spine. Exhaling it down. We go one way. We go the other. Back to center. Inhale, tall spine. Exhale, C-spine. Inhale, tall spine. Exhaling it down. First side second. Second side first. Back to center. Inhale, tall spine. Exhale, C-spine. We got 2 more to go. Breathing in. Breathing out, coming on down. We go one way. We go the other. Back to center. Inhale it tall. Exhale and reach. Inhale it tall. We'll do a repetition on this one. We exhale down. We go one way. We go the other. Stay low. Again. And again. One more time. And again. Back to center. Inhale, tall spine. Exhale, C-spine. Inhale, tall spine. And then just letting yourself relax over those legs. Relax shoulders, relax neck for a big belly breath in through the nose. And let it whoosh out through the mouth. Belly breath in through the nose. Let it whoosh out through the mouth. Belly breath in through the nose. Let it whoosh out through the mouth. So let's do a full roll down through center, and then we'll do the half roll-ups, and we'll do that side-to-side action. So finding your tall spine, exhaling C-spine as we roll ourselves all the way down here. Inhale, full body stretch, and on the exhale, ring over heart, and we'll do the half roll-ups from the ground here. Lifting the head to tuck the chin, exhaling up. We take the ring one way. We take it the other. Back to center. Inhale it down. So neutral pelvis the whole time. Exhale up, keeping neutral pelvis. We go one way. We go the other. Back to center. Inhale it down. Exhale it up. We go one way. We go the other. Center. And down. We're halfway down here. Exhaling up. We go one way. We go the other. Back to center. Inhale it down. Last 2 here. We exhale it up. We go one way. We go the other. Back to center. And down. We'll work repetition here. We come on up. We go one way. We go the other. Stay up. again, and again. One more time, and again. Back to center. Inhale it down. And then I'll invite you to bring ring over heart as we walk our feet in, finding easy supine twist. The ring falls one way as our knees fall off the other. Feel free to look through that ring if that's cool on your neck for a big belly breath in. Big belly breath out. Belly breath in. Belly breath out. Ring and knees come through center. Finding that easy supine twist the other way. Breath in. And breath out. Breath in. And breath out. So let's come back to center. Let's get to our tall spine with a roll up. So ring over heart. We lift the head to tuck the chin. We imprint the back as we roll ourselves up. Inhale, tall spine. Exhale, C-spine. Inhale, tall spine, and we'll start to add some side to side as we roll down and roll up. So we bring the ring one way. I'm going to suggest to the right. Keeping the ring to the right as we roll down the right side of the spine. Inhale, ring center, and we'll roll up that same side. Bringing the ring to the right, we lift the head to tuck the chin. We roll it on up. Inhale, tall spine, ring comes center. Exhale, reach. Inhale, tall spine. Now we're going to bring the ring to the left. On the exhale, we're going to roll down the left side of the spine. Inhale, ring comes center, low back lifts. And we'll roll it up same side. As we bring the ring to the left, we lift the head to tuck the chin. We roll it on up. Inhale, ring comes center, tall spine. Exhale, C-spine. Inhale, tall spine. Ring comes to the right. Exhaling, we roll it down on the right side. Inhale, ring comes center, low back lifts. Exhaling, same side, ring comes to the right. We roll ourselves up. Inhale, ring comes center as we sit tall. Exhale and reach. Inhale, tall spine, ring comes to the left as we roll ourselves down. Inhale, ring comes center, staying same side. Ring comes to the left as we roll ourselves up. Inhale, tall spine. Exhale, C-spine. Inhale, tall spine. Ring comes to the right as we roll ourselves down. Inhale, full body stretch. Ring stays to the right as we roll ourselves up. Ring comes center. Inhale, tall spine. Exhale and reach. Inhale, tall spine. Exhaling, ring to the left as we roll ourselves down. Inhale, full body stretch. Ring stays to the left as we exhale and roll ourselves up. Inhale, tall spine. Exhale, C-spine. Let's do one more each way. Inhale, tall spine. Exhale, ring comes to the right as we roll ourselves down. Inhale, full body stretch. Ring stays to the right as we exhale and roll ourselves up. Inhale, tall spine. Exhale and reach. Inhale, tall spine. Ring comes to the left. Last one here. Exhaling as we roll ourselves down. Inhale, full body stretch. Ring comes back to the left as we roll ourselves up. Inhale, tall spine. Exhale, C-spine. Inhale, tall spine. And then just draping yourself over those legs for a big belly breath. In through the nose. Let it spill out through the mouth. Breath in through the nose. Letting it slip out through pursed lips. And then breathing in through the nose. And out through the nose or out through the mouth. Your choice. So let's work some bridge poses. We've tightened up our core muscles. Now we're going to stretch them out. So let's come down onto our backs. So let's work a roll down. So inhaling, tall spine. Exhaling, C-spine as we roll ourselves down. Inhale, full body stretch, arms overhead. And then bringing hands by our hips as we walk our feet in. Let me go a little more sideways here. Make sure. I'm also going to grab that pillow or ball just to support the back of the head. If I do all these exercises with a classic Pilates neck position without the support, my neck gets a little sore. So treating myself with kindness, whatever activity you choose to do, whether it's Pilates, yoga, bicycling, anything. Let your body breath and your own innate wisdom be your guide. So we're going to work bridge poses. So in Pilates, we don't take the bridge into that rainbow shape that we do in yoga. We want to keep everything in one line, knees, hips, and shoulders. And we can work it with the breath. We'll do 6. So we inhale the hips up. Exhaling, laying the hips down. And whether you're lifting or lowering, feel a sense of length in the spine. Tailbone stretches to heel. Inhale it up. Exhale it down. Inhale it up. Exhale it down. Inhale it up. Exhale it down. We're halfway done. Breathing it up. Exhale it down. Inhale it up. Exhale it down. Let's hold this last one. Inhale it up and hold. Exhale. Inhale and hold. Exhale and hold. One more half breath. Breath in. And breath out. We'll lay that spine down as you stretch tailbone towards heels. Coming back to that constructive rest position as we widen the feet, let the knees knock in, palm in the belly, palm on top, and just finding your belly breath. So I'm going to come a little bit further back just so you can see my legs here. And we're going to add a leg variation to the Pilates bridge. So one thing I didn't mention, I want to mention again, is we're moving between a neutral pelvis and an imprint, and then back through an imprint back to neutral pelvis. So in our bridge, we start the bridge by tilting the pelvis up, imprinting, and then when we lay ourselves down, at the very end of the motion, you're going to find your neutral pelvis as that low back lift. So really feel that rocking of the pelvis in our bridge, and we'll add the leg variation here. So we inhale our hips up. We toe heel the feet in towards center. Pressing hard into the left foot, we're going to inhale the right leg up with a soft point to the toe. On the exhale, we flex the foot as we make the thighs parallel. A couple more times. We inhale right foot up. Exhale it down. Inhale it up. Exhale all the way through center. Grinding down through that right foot, we inhale left leg up. Soft point to the toe. Exhale as we make the thighs parallel. Inhale, foot up. Exhale. One more. Inhale up. Exhale, flex. We pass through center. We ground down through left foot. We toe heel the feet wide. We lay the spine down vertebrae by vertebrae as we stretch tailbone towards heels. Tailbone lands down, low back lifts, and then letting the feet go wide, let the knees knock in. Palm on the belly, palm on top. For a big belly breath in, and a big belly breath out. So let's do one more set of the Pilates bridge with the leg variation. So feet are hip width apart, hands are on the floor. We lift up the hips. We inhale, right leg high with a soft point to the toe. Flexing the foot as we parallel the thighs. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhaling, we come all the way through. Inhaling, left leg up, soft point to the toe. Exhale. Inhale and exhale. Last one here. Inhale. Exhale, we come all the way through. Wide with the feet. We stretch the tailbone towards the heels as we lay the low back down. Tail end gets heavy, the low back lifts. And then letting the feet go wide, letting the knees knock in. Palm on the belly, palm on top for a big Pilates breath in through the nose, or belly breath in through the nose. Let it spill out through the mouth. Breath in through the nose. Let it spill out through the mouth. Stretching long through an arm, let's roll onto one side. Letting the arm serve as a cushion for the head. And then pushing into our hands as we come on up. And moving towards the end here, we've only done 3 sore exercises, but we spent some time with them. We've done the hundreds, we've done the roll-ups and roll-downs, we've done Pilates bridge. Now we're going to roll like a ball, and this is one of my favorite exercises. So we've been working with our spine a lot. In this one, we're going to massage our spines. I'm going to stay in C-spine the whole time. This reminds me of being a kid. It's good to be a kid. So we're going to bring our elbows around our knees. So inner elbow presses into the knee. We can stabilize rolling like a ball by pressing the knee into the elbow, elbow into knee. Hands are going to catch the ankles, the fingers face down. Try to get a little space here. So Pilates foot position. The heels connect, the toes are a little bit apart. I want to make sure I don't knock into anything either. Certainly not that fire behind me. So I lift up the heels. Inhale to prepare. Exhale to prepare. Inhale to prepare. And on that next exhale, we're going to roll to the shoulders, no farther. And on the inhale, we bring it back up. Exhale. And inhale. Exhale. And inhale. We're halfway done. Exhale. And inhale. Exhale. And inhale. Exhale. Inhale and hover. And then wide with the heels. Just letting yourself drape over those knees for a big belly breath in through the nose. Let it spill out through the mouth. Breath in through the nose. Let it spill out through the mouth. One more. Breath in through the nose. Let it spill out through the mouth. So we got 5 minutes left here. I want to do a little relaxation for the spine. I want to end in a standing position. But before we get there, let's find an all fours position in our Pilates space here. So I'm going to go sideways. And I'm going to be out of the frame in terms of my face, but hopefully you can see my chin and my tail. So I'm going to move between neutral or tall spine, so back of the head's in line with the sacrum. And I'm going to find an arc to the back as I lift tail and chin. And then I want to tuck tail and tuck chin as we round the spine, working with the breath. Inhaling, finding the arc. Exhaling, finding the arch. Now if you want to add a tucking and an untucking of the toes, go for it. As I find the arc, I untuck. As I round, I tuck the toes. So inhaling, finding the arc. Exhaling, finding the arch. Let's do a couple more like this. Breathing in, finding the arc. Exhaling, finding the arch. Inhaling, finding the arc. Exhaling, finding the arch. Now let's throw rest position into the mix. So inhaling, finding the arc. Big toes touch. I round the spine. Sits bones back to the heels. In the yoga, we call this the child's pose. I inhale into the arc. On the exhale, I round it as I take it back to rest position. Now let's do this a few times. Breathing in, finding the arc. Exhaling back as we find the arch. Inhale, finding the arc. Exhale back as we find the arch. Let's do 2 more like this. Breathing in, finding the arc. Exhaling, finding the arch. 1 more like this. Breathing in, finding the arc. Exhaling back, finding the arch. Now we're going to add side to side. Breathing in, coming up center, finding the arc. And I'm going to take my sits bones back to one heel as I round the spine. Inhaling up center. And then I'm going to find that other heel. A couple more times each way. Breathing in, finding the arc. Exhaling it back as we find the arch, finding one heel. Inhaling up center. Finding the arch as we find that other heel. 1 more time each side. Breathing in, lifting up. Exhaling, rolling it back. Inhaling, lifting it up. Exhaling, taking it back. Now I'm going to throw a figure 8 into the mix. Inhaling, finding the arc. Exhaling back towards the heel as I find an arch. I keep the hips low. I find that other heel. Up on the other diagonal, shifting shoulders and hips. And back to first heel. 2 more times this way. Inhale it up. Exhaling, drawing it back. 1 more figure 8 this direction. Breathing in. And breathing out. Now switching the direction. Up on the other diagonal, shifting shoulders and hips and back to second heel. 2 more times this way. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale it up. Exhale it back. And then back to an all fours position. So we want to come to a standing position. In the meantime, we'll find a down dog in yoga. So we want to get there with the cat dog stretch. So breathing in, arcing the back. Breathing out, tucking the toes as we round the spine, lifting the knees. Now finding your neutral or tall spine as we push into the hands and stretch those heels down. As we hold this shape, I'll invite you to walk it from side to side, stretching out our calves, our hamstrings, our hips, our low back. Back and forth. And then coming back to center, let's walk the hands back to find the feet. From this place, staying in a forward fold, catching opposite elbows, and gently swinging yourself from side to side. Switching the cross of the elbows, keep swinging it from side to side. Now coming back center, let's bring our hands onto our thighs. The chin is tucked. We'll work an assisted roll up here as we push into the hands. Come on up. From here, let's bring one hand on the low belly, the other hand on our ribs. Let's find 3 Pilates breaths here. So breathing into our ribs. On the exhale, we scoop. Breathing into our ribs. On the exhale, scoop. One more here. Breathing into those ribs. On the exhale, scoop. Now finding 3 belly breaths here as we bring our hands onto our belly. Big belly breath into the hands. Let it spill out through the mouth. Breath in through our hands, through the nose. Keeping the belly soft, letting it spill out through the mouth. Breath in through the nose. Letting it spill out through the mouth. From this place, I'll invite you to bring your hands to your heart. A light press of your palms as your weight gathers in your feet. And then a slight bow as you thank yourself for practicing Pilates with me this morning. Awesome. So thank you so much. If you're a Bay Club member, I teach on the roof at the Bay Club. Sometimes I sub the Pilates. Mostly it's yoga, but we always throw some Pilates in. So if you're in town and have that Bay Club membership, please come to the roof and practice with me there. I'm also at Gateway, which is another lovely, lovely place to practice. Anyway, have a great day. We'll see you all real soon.